Even though sometimes there are isolated incidents in the United States bars. No, but seriously, one of the beautiful things about living in the United States, we have multiple cultures represented here. Depending on where you are, you may not see the diversity, but in certain cities, in certain states, you see more diversity. And I'm not just talking about ethnicity or religion, demographics. Also, we see the diversity when it comes to financial status. I say that all to say, if you've ever been in a slightly more impoverished area, a more urban community, if you were to ever hear some loud sounds outside, it may sound like a vehicle backfiring, it may be actually being produced by something else. In the urban culture, they may refer to them as sticks. So you may hear the sounds of gunfire going off. And one thing I remember hearing growing up is when you hear those sounds, get out of the window. Get out of the window. You don't want to get shot. So I'm going to continue with that. This is inspired by Dr. Eric Thomas's book, UOU. And it's just a coincidence that I happen to have on the shirt, but for real, true story. And one of the many takeaways that I got from UOU is to stop looking through the window and take the time to look in the mirror. I'm paraphrasing that, but stop looking through the window and start looking in the mirror. If you look out that window, there could potentially be hazard. So I remember hearing this story when I was younger, and the setting, just think of it as a couple decades ago. This is days gone by, because everyone did not have the nice front loader, washer and dryer set up on the pedestals. But there was an area in the neighborhood that contained all the clotheslines. So after you wash your clothes, you would get your clothespins, you would stretch them out on the clothesline and let them air dry, get that nice fresh air. The story goes like this. There was a neighbor that was watching somebody wash their clothes and hang them out to dry. The neighbor would always speculate, why is it that this woman keeps hanging out her dirty sheets? There's these big stains all on the sheets, and she has the nerve to be hanging them up so that other people can see these dirty sheets. She needs to do a better job of washing those sheets. Well, one day, that neighbor that was looking through the window actually stepped outside, and to her surprise, those sheets were pure white. There was not one blemish. That's when the neighbor looking out the window realized that the sheets were not dirty. The windows to her house, her own house, was dirty. She was looking at that window, talking bad and thinking negative about her neighbor. The issue was really with her. She had dirty windows. And I implore you all too, I'm encouraging myself, stop looking out the window and look in the mirror. Now, when we look in the mirror, to be honest, we're gonna see some things that we do not want to see. We're gonna see our reflection. Sometimes when we look at our reflection, we may notice little blemishes on our skin. We may notice that we have a little bit of extra weight somewhere. We may notice patches in our beard. We may notice gray hairs coming in, or the hair, thinning out. As we get older, that happens to all of us. But when we look in the mirror, we see things that may make us feel uncomfortable initially, but it's looking in the mirror is when we truly self-assess and begin to make a change. There's something in the mirror that we may not like, but it's up to us to take the time to do the research, to get the training, to get around the proper group of people so that we can perfect what we see in the mirror. Again, you don't have to be perfect, but it's a process. We're perfecting what we see in the mirror. We need to stop looking out the window, stop looking at what other people are doing or not doing or accomplishing or not accomplishing. Stop being a spectator. Life is not a spectator sport. We have to participate. We have to jump in. Now, remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker. Now, the reason a mirror allows us to see a reflection is because a mirror is extremely smooth. The smoother the mirror, the better the reflection. That's why even if you get fingerprints on the mirror, it has little smudges. Your image is going to get distorted. So how do we make something smoother? You take something rough, you apply that pressure, you use something like sandpaper to smooth off all the rough edges. So as we go through life, as we face those obstacles, those challenges, what we think is negative, even if somebody says something negative to us, love thy hater, love thy hater. They don't sugarcoat anything. So even when we face opposition, think of that like sandpaper. Think of that like a nail file. It's just rubbing off those rough edges, because the more sandpaper that we use, the more pressure we apply, the faster we go, the smoother the edges are of whatever I'm using that sandpaper on. And just remember, the smoother the surface, the more it's gonna shine. So as we go through those challenges in life, just know it's just making us shine. It's helping us just reflect that light. Also think about that mirror. The smoother, the cleaner the mirror, the better our reflection appears. The easier it is for us to identify whatever it is that we need to perfect. So I just want to encourage you one more time, stop looking out the window and start looking in the mirror. Remember, I'm a teacher, not a speaker. I want you to have an amazing day.